So I can't remember where I was at. I just got a call. So that's the cool thing about being on top of the hill. There's actually cell signals out here. Yeah, so I'll be using this for a long time though. This is one of the awnings. This is some scrap cardboard that was left at the road. I'll be keeping it dry so I can use it as kindling. This is some metal I'm going to be putting inside for like a heat reflector behind the stove. Some 4-inch casing for the well, hand pump well. It's back there somewhere. Some plywood. And that's another stud. For that stove area. This is my generator, Generac from Lowe's. It's a pretty crappy generator. So it says on the box 4 20 amp outlets. Those are the 420 amp outlets. And the user manual as well said 420 amp outlets. So you think you can use 20 amps on those things, but this is like a 13.9 amp breaker that powers all of this. So you got this 240 volt, but it'll trip if it goes 14 amps. These things right here will trip if they go 14 amps. And it's labeled 14 amps. The manual says it's like 13.9. But I doubt that it is, because I got a generic Ryobi skill saw, and I know it does not draw 14 amps. It's probably 9 amps. Let's see what we've got. Oh, wow, 14 amps. So it's not that generic. Okay, wow, so this would trip it. Running this thing for a while, not even a while, but like this door, ripping the plywood into these 3-inch strips, and ripping, maybe 6, 12, 18, 24 foot. This is 3A. This isn't thick plywood. This is 3A. Maybe 24 foot of it. 24 foot rip line. That was enough to, the generator would build up heat, the saw will build up heat, and I just kept tripping that breaker. And then it's like you gotta let it sit for 15, 20 minutes or something, cool down, and then you can cut with it again. And with that being an issue, that breaker tripping so often, you'd think that there would be a way to upgrade that breaker, but it says nothing in the manual. The more often you trip a breaker, the more likely it is to trip in the future. So this thing's tripping prone as is, and the more it trips, the easier it's going to be to trip. So you think it would say something in the manual about replacing the breaker, but it doesn't. It just doesn't even mention the breaker at all, and it protects everything, So I'm not a fan of the Generac. I probably can't even use a compressor on it. Compressor, like, startup is probably going to need an actual 20 amp breaker. I got some concrete. I'm going to go around the feet of the outhouse. Where's that concrete? Got a weed eater, some pretty thick weeds. Not weeds, brambles and such. And when I'm putting up my perimeter guideline string and wires, I might as well just weed eat the area so I can actually maneuver around better. So I got and this has some nice, you can get some attachments, like a brush cutter, which I probably should use, but I'm not. A blower, pole saw. I got a toothed attachment somewhere around in here. It's about as straight as I can get, 14-inch. But with most of my trees being 12-inch and under, it's good enough. I'll probably get a big one So when I'm milling, not a big one, but like an 18-inch or something, when I'm milling that hardwood. Some shelves. I'm gonna reorganize. Probably put the breaker panel and electricals up here, one of those sheets of plywood out back. Gonna go up there and mount everything to there. Like lower this shelf, raise this shelf, make room for, you know, the panel, the charge controller, the inverter, and then put some batteries on the shelf. Or, you know, I got 3 batteries coming in. They made it, so I cut out because I got a phone call, and that was something being delivered to the UPS store. It's 3 packages. I'm guessing it's the batteries. I ordered 3 batteries. So I'm starting off with is 3 100 amp hour batteries. Put them on the shelf or on the ground. Made the bed. Let's see what we got. Some paracord, 6-inch squares, kind of roughly woven, notch, screw on the bottom, and then, you know, each one is just wound around that screw. So it's kind of, you know, half the force and half the force. It's got a nice little, you can't really tell, sag going, but it's very comfortable. A bed frame was like $60. So this is tight quarters. It's got tool access, lock access, close access. This is 36-inch wide. You know, it's like 39-inch is the thinnest bed frame, I think. So it's like, why spend $60 on something that's going to make it harder to move around? So I just made the bed. Custom, 3 foot wide, 6 foot long. This right here is going to be the stove area. Got to clear it out. Some scrap metal on the ground, heat shield, and then this is where the stud goes. Put in a corner, and then you know, sheet metal, 6 foot to roughly about where the screen stops. Both sides, and then the stove will be here. It's a military camping stove, so it's kind of like a big tube, maybe, it's hard to say, 6-8 inch diameter, 4 legs, 4 inch, it looks like 3 to 4 inch output, you know, that's a 6-inch hole up there. I was going to go brick, you know, make a brick one, so I got some 6-inch stuff for doing a more official brick one, and that's what I cut the whole 6-inch for. But then getting clay brick is apparently trickier than I thought. It's all concrete brick, and concrete, the mortar in it will break down with the heat. Fancy looking clock right there. Only $15 at Walmart. Floor to ceiling. So I can check for ticks. Small backpack. Tool belt. One of the shelving boxes. It's a little cardboard for kindling. Got me 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 packs of baby wipes. So it was like 60 degrees out yesterday, and now it's maybe 35 degrees right now. Coming up on 40 is actually turning pretty nice. But then it's going to be back down into the 30s and snow. And we're down here in a few days. So looks like break time. So that's good for when it's too cold for showering. Just do a camper shower. Got me 60 eggs. Had a little bit of them. Some sausage. What we got here? 2.5 pounds of smoked sausage. I call it. Goodness, it's like $3, $4 for this, and 2.5 pounds, and they taste great. You can eat them cold on the bread, or you can put them, you know, I've done scrambled eggs with sausages, and I've done the sausages in the lentils. So it's so versatile, and it's like almost $1 a pound. It tastes great, it's versatile. There's so many preservatives in there, you don't need to refrigerate them. Like, I always eat them before they go bad. I've never had those hot dogs go bad, and I've never refrigerated them. I mean, now, and then like just normal living, I just keep them under my chair in my room. Some tables, another chair. Gotta have a big jar of pickles to go with your big box of eggs. I'm not too sure why, but you do. Some Mentos Garbanzo oyster crackers, and soup side. What do I got here? Fish oil, multi-complete, flaxseed oil, and some acid for calcium. Juice drinks, vitamins. Got some oil out there. I haven't used it yet. I've been using my tub of lard. I've been concerned about my cholesterol. And the tub of lard, the hot dogs, and the eggs don't ease my concerns, but they don't really make me too much more concerned. Deer Creek is where I had my Washington camp. Got some power cord. So some of the solar panel stuff already came in. Power cord. What is this? Charge controller, and some. I think this is 100 amp fuses. I got some 60 amp fuses yet to be delivered. So it's a double layer of 3/8 for the floor. It's 2x4, so this is light construction. You'll see, typical for a roof is 2 foot. That's more, 24 inches. I want to say this is 27 inches on center, maybe. So it's not 2 foot. If this was 2 foot centers, this is a 10 foot by 10 foot shack. If this was 2 foot centers, it would be 6. Well, it's pretty close, actually. Pretty close to 2 foot for the top. But then on the walls is more like 30-inch centers. 2 foot is like minimal you want to do, but I did 30-inch centers. 3/8 plywood sheathing. I got window screen going around, wrap around, and I got these. I got some pulleys and some more. There's some rope. So I'll be able to open those, mount the pulleys to the awnings. This is the second awning right here. Some plywood gussets or brackets or whatever, braces. Treated 2x4 posts, 5 foot. Just one spanner, 5 foot, 4 foot awning. Under 4 foot actually. The length of the metal is 48 inches. And this is I gave it 2, so 46. So it's double 3/8. It was so crappy, this 3/8 plywood. It's pretty much 1/2 inch. I was like, I'll just go with that. But like I was pretty much falling through in spots, where it was just being a 10 foot piece, a 10 foot wall, you have an 8 foot sheet of plywood, and then you have this little 2 foot corner section, and those 2 foot sections would bow like crazy. So I doubled it up. Everything is offset seams, so it's a lot better now. Don't be worried, but it is 2x4 flooring as well. And don't worry, I didn't do 12-inch centers or 16-inch centers. I did 24-inch centers, but I got it supported, in more places than others. Normally if this was like a 2x6 floor, it would just be the corners, but since it's 2x4, I got center supports in between the corner supports. Cinder block supports. So I was going to anchor it. That's what the concrete was originally for. I was going to anchor it into these blocks, so it doesn't blow away. I was like, why bother? I'm just going to be moving this thing here in 8-9 months or whatever. And it's not going to blow away in 8-9 months. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. So I didn't bother. I just got it sitting on there, and then when it does come time to move, I'll pop off the metal, jack it up, and then I got a 4-ton hoist or some hoist attached to some tree, you know, or probably get a backhoe, do some more grading, and drag it with the backhoe, most likely. But if I don't do the backhoe, I can always just hoist it, jack it, put under it, maybe some 2x10s, two 2x10s on edge, kind of act as slide rails. Grease it with a tub of lard, and then slide it along those rails. Yeah, so shed. Eventually it'll be a double wall. I doubt this camping stove has a double wall stovepipe, so I'll just put that 3 or 4 inch camping stove venting inside of a 6 inch, to fill that hole. I may add a third awning over here. If I do, it'll be underneath that plywood line, so kind of go like that. And the thought would be extend this one out even further, giving it a 45 at this thing, so to come out to about where your butt is on that chair, So it'll be a wraparound deck on 3 sides, wraparound roof on 3 sides. So with that big rain yesterday, just about all the bugs tried getting inside the shed, spiders and centipedes and so on. So these wood roaches are, they just live in the woods. They prefer the woods. I hadn't seen any on my stuff, like they don't like human food maybe or something, but one of them scurried in there trying to find a dry spot. And I ended up picking up some bug spray. I sprayed them. So I'm gonna today rake out these pine needles, and then I got a perimeter bug spray, rake out the pine needles going around this thing. I got a lot of brush piles here, there, everywhere, and eventually, once the driveway's in, blah blah blah, I'm gonna be chipping up all this brush with a chipper, but I'm just gonna drag it further away for now, and then do a perimeter spray with a bug spray, which should keep those critters out. The ants are the biggest nuisance. Got a gutter, runs into there, has pollen on top, it's not scum. And then that overflows, drips into there. That's my most often used. It doesn't collect as much debris as these two over here do. I was looking for my salt this morning, so I pulled out my seasonings. Grounding rod before I do the panel.